Tonight on News 5 Live, the latest in developments in the sugar industry as the BSCFA and the BSI remains at an impasse 1 week in the start of a new crop. A delivery truck is busted in San Jose with over 200 sacks of sugar. Was the cargo destined for the contraband market? And BSCFA Committee of Management strongly criticizes PM Briceño's handling of the sugar crisis. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
I'm connected. Yo.
I'm connected.
We're connected.
Create the perfect broadband bundle that fits your style with Smart Connect. With the Junior Bundle, get 50% off your national calls and up to 6 gigabytes of data at no extra cost. Get postpaid added for an additional cost of only $25 with the Prime Bundle. Stay connected with unlimited smart-to-smart calls plus 6,300 megabytes of data and free international minutes. For the family, pay $28.13 more and get the Binge Watchers bundle with Netflix. This bundle gives you 4 profiles with unlimited streaming on multiple devices. Visit a showroom near you to sign up and personalize your own bundle combination with Smart Connect. Smart, bringing people together.
Purchasing illegal lotteries is an unnecessary risk that is not worth it.
Even if you have a winning number, you run the risk of not collecting your prize. You also risk being arrested without a warrant, imprisoned for up to 2 years, and fined up to $20,000. When buying your bolito or jackpot, ensure you buy from an official source. Official sub-agents should have official tickets that feature the Belize Government Lotteries Limited logo, all the information about your purchase, a QR code, and more information about the Belize Government Lotteries Limited on the back of the ticket. If your ticket is written with pen on paper, it's an illegal lottery ticket. If your ticket does not have the official logo or a QR code on it, it's an illegal lottery ticket. Buy smart, buy with confidence, and buy official lotteries only.
Belize's location is responsible for the amazing biodiversity that we find here, including quite a few endemic species that are found nowhere else in the world.
In fact, 60% of our country still remains forested. It's part of our history, it's part of our heritage, it's part of our culture.
Business has to be a long-term thing, and it has to feed into the environment. So we truly believe that without a strong country, you can never have a strong company.
This is going to be a good night for croc catchers.
This is how the UDP acquires a company. They seize it and refuse to pay. They pretend to fight in court for years, while friends and family make millions and millions and millions. And then, when those millions have been made, Mr. Barrow turns around and makes a secret deal with Ashcroft, which not even his cabinet knew about, much less the Belizean people. And taxpayers end up paying over $600 million. That is the UDP way. With friends, family, and Ashcroft laughing all the way to the bank. Things are different now. This government's acquisition of the port is transparent and was taken to the House for approval. It was negotiated by a credible team. It has resulted in significant savings for the Belizean people and no additional debt to taxpayers. There is no friends and family millionaire club plan. This is good governance. This is governance for the people. As for those talkers on the other side,
the UDP will never recover. God help the UDP.
Let's take a journey through the core functions of the Social Security Board. It all starts with registering as an insured person, employer, or self-employed individual. Sign up for a portal account to manage your Social Security information online. Just provide accurate information and click Create. This will give you access to a range of services and benefits. Next, your contribution, along with investments and other income, are collected and distributed into 3 funds. This ensures that the SSB fund is securely utilized to support various benefit programs. The SSB is committed to providing essential benefits such as sickness, maternity, injury, and pension. These benefits are paid out to eligible individuals as a part of the Social Security coverage. We help you navigate through life's challenges with financial security. Annual surplus accumulates to grow the fund each year. This surplus is invested into various industries, contributing to the growth and development of our nation. With each passing year, the fund continues to grow due to the annual surplus and interest revenue earned from prudent investments. This surplus, along with reserves, helps to bolster the SSB fund and provide a safety net for those in need. We've arrived at the end of our journey to better understanding how the SSB works. We remain committed to serving you and building a secure future for all Belizeans.
newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Thursday, January 4th. I am Sabrina Daly. We begin our newscast this evening with continued live coverage from Orange Walk, where we have been following very closely the developments in the sugar industry. Today makes 1 week since the 2023-24 sugar crop commenced, and despite lengthy negotiations between the government of Belize, the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association, and Belize Sugar Industries Limited, an impasse persists. Joining us live from the Sugar Industry Research Development Institute is reporter Hippolyta Novello. Good evening, Hippolyta, and thank you for joining us again this evening. Hippolyta, let's quickly get a temperature check. You are currently at the Surrey compound. What's the situation like? I understand that these few minutes are critical as a final agreement has been formed with the BSCFA negotiating committee, the management committee, and of course government officials. What's the status right now?
Yeah, so thank you very much, Sabrina. So we're at Surrey compound where the directors of the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association are meeting with cane farmers. Now, as you are hearing, they're applauding, they're cheering, they're thanking the other union sisters that supported them throughout this. Now, the government has made some sort of progress and is hoping that the farmers here would agree to that final proposal. Which that meeting between the government and the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association representatives finished just a few minutes ago. So what's happening now is that the directors of the BSCFA are speaking to their cane farmers, to their members as well. We spoke to Abimai earlier this evening, and while he did not go through the details of that proposal because it was yet to see whether cane farmers would agree to it, but the understanding and the sentiment out here today is that there might have been a breakthrough that will satisfy both parties.
All right, so I know that you were able to get an interview with Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Abelardo Mai. I don't know if you want us to provide that now, just to really give context to what you just mentioned.
Yes, we have just ended a meeting with the BSCFA negotiating team and the Committee of Management. We did arrive at what we believe is a workable agreement for the farmers. We cannot disclose right now the details of the agreement because they are going back to their membership right now and will explain to them in detail what the agreement is. I'm hoping that this agreement they will accept, and I think it's in the best interest of everyone that we sign this agreement and we move on. I must give credit to the Prime Minister, who today was extremely convincing to both sides. He worked very hard to convince the ASR personnel, and he also worked very hard to convince the members of the BSCFA. I must thank him for that. I must thank the leaders of the BSCFA, and I also want to thank my technical team from the
Hippolyta, it feels like we're almost holding our breath here, waiting for those final words that an agreement has been made. I think what I want to ask at this point is to paint us a picture of what those moments were leading up to that interview with the Minister of Agriculture saying that an agreement has been made.
Sorry, Sabrina, can you repeat that one more time?
Yes, I'm asking you to describe what the situation was like leading up to that interview with the Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Abelardo Mai.
Yeah, so the meeting began at around 11 o'clock. It was set to start at 9 o'clock. It was pushed back to 11 o'clock and it finished a little after 5 o'clock. Now, farmers were growing impatient because they were waiting another long day. So we had heard word that farmers now were moving from Surrey to go over to the Yoke Quick location where the meeting is happening. This is where we saw MIT officers and other members of the Belize Police Department show up quickly and try barricade the entrance on the side of that compound. We saw several police officers there. Then we saw other cane farmers rolling in and such. They told us that they were there to support the BACFA director. They're not there to cause them upheaval, but they were there to support the directors of the BACFA. And after the meeting had finished, it was members of the BACFA who exited, right? And some of the cane farmers were telling them that they need an answer now. They're not leaving, but they need an answer now. And if you heard, and we heard the applause behind me, is because some of the directors of the BACFA told the farmers out there basically that it was a favorable proposal to the cane farmers. So what's happening now, Sabrina, is that the directors, they're sharing the details of that proposal to see whether or not cane farmers would agree to this latest proposal. If that happens, then we might see this impasse come to an end tonight. And as Minister Mai had mentioned in that interview, is that the impasse, this would needs to end because no one is winning. So we'll keep here on the ground to see whether or not the farmers would agree to everything on that proposal. Again, what Minister Mai had mentioned is that not everyone got the 100% request that they wanted. Now, if you're hearing me, is that so one of the directors, the farmers, says that they got what they wanted. He's speaking in Spanish. Yeah, so that's what's happening now. It looks like he's delivering good news to members of the cane farmers out here today, Sabrina.
Well, I want to say thank you so much, Hipólito, for being out there on the field. I imagine we'll be getting an update from you as soon as we find out that this is finally finished. Thank you so much, Hipólito.
Thank you, Sabrina. I will keep updated.
All righty. Well, following our newscast on Wednesday night, another round of interviews was conducted with executives on the Committee of Management of the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association. Among them was Alfredo Ortega. Not only has Ortega established himself as a stalwart member of the BSCFA, but he's also a level-headed advisor to the association. Last night, he candidly expressed his disappointment with the manner in which Prime Minister John Briceño has handled the sugar crisis. His sharp criticism of the Orange Walk Central Area representative and head of government began with the aborted trip to the Vatican and the failed negotiations that PM Briceño has engaged in with ASR-BSI. Prior to leaving the country, here's that interview with Ortega.
Intense, where we have the participation of the Minister of Agriculture, his team, our team, including the Prime Minister. We thought that things will be resolved because having the maximum leader of the country, things should have been solved. Nevertheless, we are here. Wednesday, tomorrow will make 8 days since we are negotiating. And our Prime Minister has been there and nothing has been resolved. We heard that he stopped his vacation visit to Rome and he came back today. We thought that with his coming back, that we'll have a resolve today in this afternoon, and we are back to square one. It's a pity that our Prime Minister is really not looking forward into the cries of the farmers. We that voted him in as our Prime Minister, we are calling his attention that he need to really look upon the people that voted for him. It's not only the cane farmers, because this is not only affecting us as cane farmers. Directly, yes, but indirectly there are other people involved, and those other people are voters. How the hell is it that our own Prime Minister cannot come and help us resolve one issue? One issue. He prefers to leave his people, to leave his voters to the ditch and giving the multinationals the respect that he should give to his own people. That is what we are looking for, that our Prime Minister and our ministers in government really look upon our farmers, really look on what the need is. Because the way he's behaving very weak.
Continuing with his disapproval of the Prime Minister, Ortega went on to compare Briceño to the head of a household and acknowledging what ought to be his responsibilities to the family.
A Prime Minister should be like a father. If you have your father in home and he is unable to protect his sons and daughters in home, what will happen into your house? Rules and regulations have to prevail. And that is the responsibility of our Prime Minister. He should look upon that instability can be created because of his attitude. Nevertheless, he gave a damn to what the farmers are suffering. So we are calling the attention of our Prime Minister to come and let us resolve this situation that the farmers are facing at this point in time. Because we, the farmers of the BSCFA, from day one we have been pushed to move and to do certain adjustment to our agreement. And BSI only comes and they rejected, they want us to sign what they throw on the table. That is not negotiation. When we want to negotiate in good faith, it's the same way they treat us, in a blind eye. This is what they're selling our sugar for, and we have to accept what they are bringing because they are the ones that have the control of the marketing of our sugar. So we want our Prime Minister to listen and understand that if anything, that if our people start to suffer and start to suffer more in their health and everything, he's the one responsible because he is not trying to come and resolve this situation. If he would wanted to resolve the situation from Thursday, he should have resolved this because he has the majority members in cabinet. So he cannot say that he is a weak Prime Minister, not having the amount of people he needs. We need him, we are calling on him, we are calling his attention to him and his cabinet to come and resolve this situation with us so that our farmers can have the opportunity as any other farmer to deliver their cane.
On Wednesday, we showed you a throng of angry Caneros when they encircled the Minister of Agriculture's vehicle as he attempted to leave from the Surrey compound in Orange Walk District. Fortunately, the situation did not escalate to violence, as the Orange Walk South Area representative gave assurances that he was meeting with Prime Minister Briceño later that afternoon. But was there any fear for his personal safety, given the tension among the cane farmers who congregated outside of Surrey?
I've seen worse than that in the times of the UDP, right? And the farmers know who has genuinely worked for them, right? And actually, they didn't want me to leave because they want an answer now and then. And so I understand the frustration of the farmers. Many of them are my friends, many of them are my supporters, many of them know that I have been supporting them for a very long time as a cane farmer and now as a person in cabinet. My interest is to ensure the best benefits for all the producers in this country.
Are you expecting that industrial actions may increase in intensity? I mean, you had mentioned on Facebook, you don't mess people who prepare your food or make your food.
Yeah, one thing you don't want to get people pissed off, those who produce food. And that's across the world, right? So, it is sad that we have to reach to this. And you will recall that we have tried, in opposition, we said that in 100 days we will review the Sugar Industry Act. And in 110 days, I think, we had a draft of the sugar industry. We consulted with them, and they said they need more time. We gave them a month, and the response was that, you know what, I'm not interested in your regulation.
Chief Executive Officer Oscar Alonso was also present following a meeting of the BSCFA on Wednesday night. While the issue of politics was raised by Alfredo Ortega in the preceding interview, Alonso was clear in stating that the aggrieved cane farmers will ultimately decide what takes place at the polls come election season.
The BCFA doesn't have to tell its members not to vote for the PM. The people are suffering. And that very same suffering, right, is the one that dictates their choice of vote. And if you cannot read that in the eyes, right, in the pain, in the suffering of the people in this northern part of the country, then he's completely disconnected. He's not part of this region. He's like in another world, right? But I just wanted to bring up a point here. We noticed that BSI has been issuing a lot of releases, press conferences, right? Painting the BCFA as though it's a diabolical or bad for the farmers, bad for the industry, bad for the country, and all they're doing is stirring up trouble, right? And not trying to understand. This is their favorite word, not understand. But let us go back. When ASR came in here, we embraced them. We stuck out our necks for them. We went to each village and we sold ASR to the people saying, okay, let us accept this company that is taking over BSI. Why? Because it's a big company, one of the biggest producers of sugar, one of the biggest cane producers. They have markets, they have technology, they have finance, and they even brought the promise to us that they will provide these resources to our farmers to make them improve their productivity. They also brought promises that they will try to improve the milling rate from what it was. You know, they spoke bad about the English, that the English put the sugar industry in the doldrums, right? And they would bring it up back.
While the sugar industry remains in a state of crisis, CEO Alonso spoke to the membership of the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association and how they have remained resolute throughout this unpredictable period at the start of the new crop.
It's unfortunate that we have reached at this stage, but nevertheless, we have been able to ensure the support of our members, which you have seen for the past 2 days, that he has remained firm. They have come out in their numbers. They have come out giving their backing to us, contrary to what they have been trying to let our membership understand, that it's only us, only 11, 19 men and women trying to lead you down astray and making you lose your money and not be able to deliver a cane. You saw the loud clamor of our farmers out there, making the decisions. We didn't make the decisions. You heard it, right? They're the ones that put the motions. We didn't put the motion. We get them the information for them to make a decision. So what is it that BSI really doesn't want with us? Our sin is that we question. Huh? And if you question, we go punish you. And this is what we have been gotten. Because we have questioned the veracity of costs, we have questioned the discrimination that Tate and Lyle has done to us in not paying us our premium. We have questioned their interpretation of the fair trade standards in trying to deprive us of our means.
CEO Alonso also discussed briefly the delivery of sugarcane by farmers who are not members of the BSCFA. He also spoke on the idea that was put forward by People's United Party Chairman Henry Charles Usher to nationalize the mill.
We are not against the farmers delivering the cane from any association. But what we are against is that some are delivering, right? And we do not have our commercial agreement signed for us to deliver. That is an injustice. And if you remember in 1949, when the British decided to devalue the Belizean dollar and the uprising of the people in Belize City. This is an uprising, not a violent uprising. This is an uprising of the cane farmers, right, to defend their right to a decent living and a decent income and a fair return to their investment. At this moment in time, the way BSI is behaving, you have Social Security Board, they're investing in productive industry. We are one of the key productive industry. Nationalize it if that can solve the problem. Huh? We can run that factory.
While the plight of the cane farmers takes center stage in the north, the south has spoken up. Several members of Belize's indigenous community have joined together to release a statement declaring their stance of solidarity with the BSCFA. This includes the Toledo Alcaldes Association and its partners at the Maya Leaders Alliance and Julian Cho Society. In a joint statement released today, the associations condemned the government of Belize for its failure to resolve this dispute and for allowing it to have occurred at all, stating, quote, "Every day we see this wealth consolidated in the hands of a very few. We see the economic opportunities encouraged by our governments to these very few," end quote. The association stated that the plight of the cane farmers resonates with that of the indigenous community as they recall their own struggles with land ownership. According to them, the government, quote, "promised that it would respect the rights of the Maya people of the South and work with our leaders to implement the CCJ consent order," end quote, while campaigning as the opposition. However, they claim that the government is now proposing a Maya land tenure policy that they say would result in the division of their leaders. The associations asserted their desire to defend their dignity, families, and children whom they feel are being threatened. There's much more news after the break, so stay with us.
Desde las áreas urbanas hasta las comunidades rurales, la conexión importa. El acceso a Internet es crucial para continuar el desarrollo social y económico. Es por eso que Digi, nuestra telecomunicación nacional, continúa invirtiendo millones de dólares para expandir sus redes de telefonía móvil y fibra óptica en todo Belice. Miles de usuarios móviles y viviendas, especialmente a lo largo de las carreteras y en comunidades rurales, ahora disfrutan de los beneficios de la infraestructura resiliente de Digi. Nuestra telecomunicación nacional continúa liderando la transformación digital a través de su tecnología avanzada y compromiso a la excelencia. Con Digi Wallet, beliceños en áreas urbanas y rurales tienen acceso fácil y seguro a una amplia variedad de servicios financieros a través de sus dispositivos móviles. Y con el reciente lanzamiento de Digi TV, nuestra telecomunicación nacional se ha convertido en el único proveedor de servicios de reproducción cuádruple en Belice. Clientes ahora pueden ahorrar con nuestros paquetes DigiOne que ofrecen internet residencial, servicios móviles, teléfono residencial y servicios DigiTV convenientemente en un solo lugar. Digi permanece comprometido en brindar acceso a servicios de alta calidad, confiables y accesibles y crear oportunidades para un mejor futuro. Forme parte de la transformación y viva la conectividad como nunca antes. Porque con Digi, la conexión importa.
Cellular World is the authorized Samsung distributor in Belize, and they offer 1-year local warranty on all Galaxy devices.
Cellular World always has the best tech deals countrywide. Get 3 or up to 7 years warranty on all Dell technologies because Cellular World is the authorized Dell partner here in Belize.
Like these good folks, rush down to Cellular World for the best tech deals such as cell phones, TVs, tablets, speakers, business products, and so much more. Visit any of our stores in Belize City, Belmopan, San Pedro, and now in Orange Walk. Or shop via our virtual store through Facebook and Instagram. Or WhatsApp us at 615-5141 to find out more.
Belize's location is responsible for the amazing biodiversity that we find here, including quite a few endemic species that are found nowhere else in the world.
In fact, 60% of our country still remains forested. It's part of our history, it's part of our heritage, it's part of our culture.
Business has to be a long-term thing, and it has to feed into the environment. So we truly believe that without a strong country, you can never have a strong company.
This is going to be a good night for croc catchers.
We love our cars. They take us where we need to go and allow us to explore, work, and even make memories. RF&G Insurance prides itself in offering coverage options for you. We are pleased to reintroduce our Super Act policy. Drive with confidence, knowing that you are protected on both public and private roads. Experience outstanding service and reliable protection that is tailored to your budget. WhatsApp us at 670-8700 or visit an agent near you to learn more. Remember, it pays to get it right with RF&G Insurance, a Road Group company.
Get your body sculpted with gym equipment and accessories from Benny's. Quality and savings.
Today is also the time to make clear that the new management and board of the port must and will operate the facility mindful always of their primary obligations to the employees, to shareholders, to our customers, and to the community. The port will not be a sandbox for the play of party politics. We plan to nominate representatives of labor and the business sector to sit on the board, and the company is to operate as a pivotal public utility so that its profitability can sustain this acquisition.
On November 16, 2023, the Belize Bankers Association wrote to the Central Bank of Belize expressing, quote, its disappointment with the Central Bank of Belize's decision to maintain its position on employing price control measures, end quote, because these would prove to be counterproductive and disincentivize innovation. The Belize Bank aligns itself with the BBA's position. Belize Bank, like the BBA, opposes central bank's practice direction because price controls stifle competition, limit product innovation, and ultimately harm consumers by eroding financial inclusion and access to financial services, especially in remote areas of Belize. Belize Bank's executive chairman, Filippo Alaria, explained, quote, that the Belizean public deserves price transparency. Without ATM withdrawal fees and some of the other charges the CBB is prohibiting, we would need to reassess our ATM network strategy, which will include reducing certain ATM services from the market in areas where the cost of their operation would be economically unfeasible, end quote. Mr. Alario added that, quote, other fees and charges in question are essential for banks to support critical functions, including mounting costs of cybersecurity, financial crimes, and anti-money laundering compliance, as well as the upkeep of both digital and physical infrastructure. These financial components also play a vital role in driving innovation, exemplified by initiatives such as our digital wallet, eCash, which enables customers to make electronic payments easily and cheaply from their mobile phones, end quote. All the banks in Belize have made individual proposals to reduce fees significantly in line with their own strategic objectives. But the CBB has rejected these and proceeded to legislate its own price control. In its letter of November 7, 2023 to the CBB, the Belize Bank proposed reducing ATM withdrawal fees immediately and to progressively work to create financial products for the geographically remote and financially disadvantaged sections of society. On January 2, 2024, the Belize Bank secured an interim injunction against the CBB's practice direction, which would impose counterproductive, arbitrary, and unprecedented price controls on services offered by Belizean banks to customers. The Supreme Court also ordered that Belize Bank's application for judicial review of the CBB's practice direction is heard at full hearing, scheduled for early February. The CBB is not permitted to enforce its practice direction before the outcome of Belize Bank's application is determined. Moreover, despite the suggestion to the contrary in the CBB's press release of January 3, 2024, Belize Bank has already passed on to its customers the benefit of the CBB's elimination of its fees to the domestic banks for instant fund transfers. The elimination of these charges by the CBB to the domestic banks is an independent matter and not part of the price controls which the CBB wishes to introduce pursuant to its practice direction. A delivery truck laden with 200 sacks of sugar purchased from BSI was busted by police on Wednesday night in the vicinity of San Jose. Acting on information provided by cane farmers in the north, police quickly mobilized and intercepted the vehicle. It is believed that the shipment of plantation white sugar may have been destined for the contraband market. Here's more from Commissioner of Police Chester Williams.
We don't know if the sugar was destined for Guatemala, but last night we did get information from some cane farmers that there was a truck moving around with some sugar in it. The police mobilized and that truck was located in San Jose village. It was taken into police custody and a search of the truck revealed, I think, somewhere around 200 sacks of sugar. So far, we had detained and interviewed one person, or two Guatemalans, who had control of the truck. We are currently investigating and we have confirmed that the sugar was purchased from BSI by a person, and that person subsequently sold the sugar to the Guatemalans. So we are awaiting words from the Sugar Board as well as the Ministry of Agriculture to decide what is going to become of the sugar.
So as of now, there isn't any assurances to see whether that sugar was destined to be smuggled, no?
Well, according to the persons in whose possession it was, they are saying that it was destined for independence. But I don't buy that crap. Certainly, we believe that it was destined to be taken out of the country.
We also spoke with Minister of Agriculture, Jose Abelardo May, who told reporters that for the consignment of sugar to be cleared for export, an export license would have been approved by the Supplies Control Board.
The farmers have been calling me and telling me that there's a truck that was intercepted with sugar. For a fact, I know the sugar in there is in bags that are ASR. ASR, I believe, has their wholesalers who they sell sugar to and who in turn wholesale. For time now, we've been hearing that the sugar was scarce and it's going over to Guatemala. And I think before a truck was caught in Guatemala with Belize sugar. So apparently from the reports, it seemed that this sugar was destined for Guatemala also. But the police is doing that investigation. However, I must caution that at this time, if the sugar is to be exported, then it needs an export license from Supplies Control. I was briefed this morning by my Director of Supplies Control, but that is when they're in the process of exporting through the border. So right now, I think the police is only investigating, but they will have to prove that the sugar is to be exported or was going to be exported. But again, at this time, I don't think there's anything in my view. But it is good to know and to see who is at least fingered in the business of smuggling sugar across the border.
Afternoon, a mother of two broke down in tears after hearing that she was sentenced to a month in jail after she was busted with a cocaine pipe. She is 32-year-old Leanne Monique Samuels, also known as Leanne Samos. She is a mother of a pair of 1-year, 3-month-old twins. But today, she missed her visitation day due to being on lockdown overnight at the police station after she was arrested. Samuels was also accused of committing a mischievous act after she stated that her name was Monique Zaragoza upon her arrest, which police later discovered to be untrue. Samuels also admitted that she sometimes used the name Leanne Samos. The Barlboom resident's 2 children have been taken from her custody by social services, and she has been sentenced to 2 one-month sentences to be served at the Belize Central Prison. Additionally, Samuels must enroll in the NDAC program for persons struggling with drug addictions. Samuels has racked up 4 previous drug offenses and is in debt to the court for $510. Samuels appeared unrepresented before the chief magistrate, who agreed with the prosecutor that another fine was not a sufficient sentence for the repeat offender and should instead be remanded to prison and enrolled in the NDAC program. Samuels broke down in tears, stating that her children are already in the care of the Human Services Department and that she fears a prison sentence would cause her to lose custody permanently. Tonight, well-known gang member Ulid Allen is out on bail after he was recently charged for handling stolen goods. He was also granted bail on the additional charge picked up today of contempt of judicial order. Allegations are that Allen was ordered by the magistrate's court to report to the Mahogany Street Police Station every Monday and Wednesday as of June 2023, after he was granted bail on his 2023 charge of being a member of a gang and escaping lawful custody. However, Allen willfully neglected the order without a reasonable excuse and was therefore charged with contempt of court. Allen pleaded not guilty to the charge, and while the prosecutor objected to the bail being granted, the magistrate of the lower court offered Allen bail in the sum of $1,000 and an additional surety of the same amount. Allen met the bail, which came with conditions that he would not move from his current address and remain there while his case is before the court. Allen must also report to the Queen Street Police Station every Tuesday and Thursday. Starting today, Allen will also have a curfew in which he must be indoors between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. His next court date is set for February 19th, 2024. After the break, public building repaired but not ready for court opening. But first, here's the weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
As we bid farewell to 2023, let's take a moment to celebrate the incredible milestones that have continued to transform Belize City into a thriving and inclusive community. This year, the Belize City Council set ambitious goals across the board, and we're proud to announce that we've made remarkable progress. When it comes to physical infrastructure, our goal was to complete 90 streets within Belize City. And guess what? We've already conquered more than 80% of that target. The Holy Emmanuel Community Rehabilitation Project is revitalizing our neighborhoods, and we've successfully eliminated the obstacles that the London bridges once presented. But it's not just about the roads we travel. It's about the community we've built. Under the leadership of Mayor Bernard Wagner, social infrastructure has flourished, fostering economic development that empowers local businesses. The Downtown Super Sales, launched in 2018, has generated a whopping $5.6 million for our talented local vendors this year. And let's not forget the Accelerator Program. So far, over 140 entrepreneurs received invaluable assistance, and an impressive 80% are still thriving in business today. This year, we introduced community festivals, creating vibrant spaces for over 100 participating businesses. 6 festivals later, our city is alive with culture, commerce, and community spirit. As always, our commitment to youth involvement is unwavering. The Youth Shadow Council, the Child Advisory Body, and engagement in summer programs continue to shape the leaders of tomorrow. And let's not forget our new Student Hub, launched this year, a haven for learning and collaboration developed by your Belize City Council. Looking ahead to 2024, we're excited to build on our successes and introduce new services that will make the lives of our residents even better. Brace yourselves for smart city enhancements featuring the e-Transit pilot project, with e-buses and e-taxis, modern bus stops, and a user-friendly mobile app that will transform your daily commute. We're investing in a new, modern parking facility downtown, and we're launching the official Belize City app, allowing you to easily access your property tax statements, trade license statements, and more. In addition, 2024 will see the rehabilitation of Complex Park, basketball court, and football field for all to enjoy. Belize City, let's step into 2024 with enthusiasm and determination. Together, we'll continue to shape a city we're proud to call home. Cheers to progress, to community, and an even brighter future. Cheers to more in 2024. Your Belize City Council, always about the people.
Belize's location is responsible for the amazing biodiversity that we find here, including quite a few endemic species that are found nowhere else in the world.
In fact, 60% of our country still remains forested. It's part of our history, it's part of our heritage, it's part of our culture.
Business has to be a long-term thing, and it has to feed into the environment. Do we truly believe that without a strong country, you can never have a strong company?
This is going to be a good night for croc catchers.
We're coming back with a final update from our correspondent Hipólito Novello, bringing you the update at the Surrey compound in Orange Walk as the BSCFA will be announcing if it has accepted the commercial agreement. Hipólito, I know that you are currently out there live right now. Can you hear us?
Thank you so much, Sabrina. So let me start off by some of the events happening here at the Surrey compound. So these are the cane farmers who stayed here to hear the proposals, and they've agreed to the proposals. So the impasse between the BSCFA and BSI has been culminated. The cane farmers passed a motion to agree to the proposals. It was seconded, and now tomorrow what will happen is that they will sign on officially to the proposal. So this is the scene now at the Surrey office, and it's lively. They're happy, and the farmers are jubilant. So let me go over to some of the proposals. I believe there were 4 proposals in total. The number one is that the new commercial agreement will be signed for 2 years, which means that BSI has accepted reducing their demands from 4 years to 2 years. That was the first one. The second one is that the government of Belize will support BSCFA fair trade process. And if the BSCFA does not get fair trade this year, that the government will provide $1 million Belize to the BSCFA per ton. Now, I'm sorry, but the poor farmers are extremely happy of what has happened.
I believe we have some issues in the audio. I just want to make sure that you're still hearing us, Hipólito. Alrighty. We seem to be having some network issues there, connecting issues there. What I can say, though, is that we just heard from our correspondent over at the Surrey compound that an agreement has been made. The BSCFA has agreed to the new commercial agreement. What we heard so far is that this commercial agreement will extend for only 2 years as opposed to 4 years. What I also heard, and I'm not sure if I was able to capture the last words of his second point, was that the government of Belize will be supporting the fair trade process for BSCFA. And if they are not able to receive fair trade premiums, the government will be providing $1 million in fair trade premiums to support the BSCFA in their fertilizers. We will be confirming all these information later. Of course, we'll be also providing that in our newscast tomorrow and also in our morning show. But we're going to take our final break, and when we come back, the public building repaired but not ready for court opening.
Yes, I give her 50 times ending, now me have to pay.
Where you going, bruh? The who they stress you out again, Namule?
Boy, I don't believe I the fool again.
Again?
But I mess up this time for real, for real. You really want to know?
Yes. I want yeah.
Can't make it a big deal.
We know what that.
I know how you going now.
Oh, man.
You really want to know?
Yeah.
Take my plan, and I give her. I take my plan and put it in a name.
In a name?
Wait, so tell me something. You still pay for this plan?
Yeah. But hear this.
This plan, I can't left this plan. Smart Belize. This plan, I can't left this plan, yeah. This plan, I I can't left this plan. Postpaid plan. This plan. I can't left this plan. With Smart Belize, get unlimited data. Smart Choice plan can light up your day. Postpaid with eSIM, make everything better. Just visit Smart Showrooms today. Boom! I can't left this plan. I can't left this plan. Can't left this plan. I can't left this plan. Affordable for everyone. I can't left this plan. The postpaid plan, cause the data really strong.
You know why? Listen, for the best post and prepaid. You know that Smart got you back.
My bad. Wrong commercial. She could left me for another man. The truth, once I have my plan, once I have my Smart Plus plan, I no worry cause the data strong. I know when the bleed, that's all I need. And you could tell me where you are, but I know I left this plan. Smart have the best services. We post your plan have everything, so you could talk and text unlimited. Come set up your group. We got share plan 1 and 2. Up to 10 friends can connect anywhere. Boom! I can't left this plan. I can't left this plan. The postpaid plan, cause the data really strong. Don't dig it down. Don't dig it down. Don't dig it down. Smart Belize. Don't dig it down. 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 Don't dig it. Smart, bringing people together.
Belize's location is responsible for the amazing biodiversity that we find here, including quite a few endemic species that are found nowhere else in the world.
In fact, 60% of our country still remains forested. It's part of our history, it's part of our heritage, it's part of our culture.
Business has to be a long-term thing, and it has to feed into the environment. So we truly believe that without a strong country, you can never have a strong company.
This is going to be a good night for croc catchers.
The 2024 session of the High Court will open with its usual pomp and circumstance next Monday. But the building that conducted cases for the High Court and the Magistrates Court, also known as the Treasury Building or the Public Building, will not be ready for the occasion. That's because while the repair and restorative work on the badly damaged and deteriorated building is, for the most part, complete, the new furniture that comes along with the package is still being completed. The almost century-old court buildings were built in 1926 after previous fires destroyed the first 2 wooden structures that stood in their place in 1820, and then again in 1918. The public building had to undergo urgent repair and restoration after Hurricane Lisa in November 2022 rendered the building unfit for occupancy. Both buildings had also received restorative care under the Downtown Rejuvenation Project, but as we found out today, the damage caused by the hurricane uncovered even more hazards that were literally lying in the cracks. News 5's Brittany Gordon reports.
We all remember the collapsing roof of the historic public building back in November 2022. Hurricane Lisa had ripped through Belize City on November 2nd, rendering what was then the Supreme Court and Magistrate Court building a dangerously decrepit structure. Then continuous rains thereafter exasperated the structure to a derelict state. Sharon Fraser was the chief magistrate at the time.
We came here Monday. I met a courtroom where the entire ceiling, all the light fixtures, electrical stuff, everything was done. The place full with water, and the mold, the smell of the mold was just unbearable.
Okay.
So a decision was taken that I would close down that side of the building, which is the left side of this building.
Which houses how many courtrooms?
It houses
and the cell block.
4 active courtrooms. There is a 5th room, but 4 active courts and the cell block area.
Court sessions had to be deferred to the start of 2022 to give the government time to identify temporary venues for magistrate and high court hearings. The Ministry of Infrastructure, Development and Housing was commissioned to intervene and take charge of the repairs and whatever restorative work was possible. After more than 2 years, the work on the structure has been completed, the ministry's chief engineer Evandale Moody.
So we had 2 contractors, one for the roof and also one for the main building itself. Of discussion is the main structure, which is the ground and first floor, which were rehabilitated by LN Construction at the tune of approximately 2.69 million Belize dollars. It was done in 2 phases. The first phase was to address the first floor and thereafter the ground floor. With the works that the MIDH had to put in for the rehabilitation, it was very extensive, as I've mentioned, because basically we had to take out the entire interior of the building and bring it back to fruition. So we undertook that during a period of approximately 10 months. We started in March of 2023, and those works were substantially completed around November last year.
The repairs on the building have already been completed. However, it is not quite ready to be used. Against Moody's hopes, the courthouse will not be in operation for the first court session of the year.
In discussion with the Chief Justice, we wanted to see if we could have it open for the new session for this year, but I'm kind of doubtful that will happen. Reason being is that in discussions with the Chief Justice, she has asked for collaboration for the furnishing of the building since she believes that we did a fairly good job on the structure. She has asked that the MIDH incorporate the furnitures for the 4 courts that are there and the office spaces. And so that is what we're currently working on, to procure furnitures and other items that are required for the functionality of the building. So that will take us some time, I believe maybe another month or 2 months. We have commenced that process already, but we still have to wait for those to be arrive in the country. And so that will take us at least another 60 days. So we don't think that we should have it fully furnished until possibly about March.
Nothing is without its silver lining, as although the damage inflicted to the Supreme Court by Hurricane Lisa was devastating, it allowed for the building to undergo some much-needed repairs and allow for pre-existing issues that once flew under the radar to be exposed and addressed.
Maybe Lisa is a blessing, because this might very well be where consideration is given to putting that building at the Chetomal Street. We had already been promised a location. I know that the second building to have been considered being built would have been that of the magistrate court.
I think because of the exposure that was done as a result of Hurricane Lisa, we saw what was happening under the floor. I think when they did that project, they did not see what was happening under the floor. And so it was when we had to remove the floor because that floor was damaged, that was when we observed that we had some beams that were that had wood lice and that we had to address.
Brittany Gordon for News 5.
After catching up with Evandale Moody, the chief engineer at the Ministry of Infrastructure, Development and Housing, on the progress of the Supreme Court's building, we asked him about other plans by the ministry for this year. Here's what he had to say.
We have works being undertaken on the George Price Highway from San Ignacio to Benque, where we're upgrading that section of the road to international standard. The contractor has recommenced works there this week because they were on Christmas break as well. And so we're back on the grind again, working in that area to try and upgrade the road all the way to Sokots. We also have ongoing, which we're looking to complete by February, is the upgrading of the Philip Bolson Highway from mile 24 to the border. All those works should be completed by February, including the Remate bypass that traverses through Yo Creek, Chanchen, and those areas, which would alleviate that heavy traffic going through Corozal Town. So on my last visit there in December, that road itself was approximately 95% completed. I think there was only 2 kilometers that were unpaved. So we're very close to completing that section. And also the sections coming back to Biscayne. We have one new bridge that we're replacing in Biscayne Village, whereby we had a large Armco culvert that had collapsed, and we're replacing that with a new structure because that Armco culvert was approximately 15 feet in diameter. And so the ideal thing for that would be a new bridge structure. So we're constructing a bridge there. If we stay on the Philip Wilson Highway, we have a project that is being funded by CABE for the upgrade of the Philip Wilson Highway from mile 8 to mile 24.5. That we're in the procurement process for the selection of a consultant, and we expect to have that selection completed by February. And thereafter, we will start with the procurement process for a contractor to do the civil works for the upgrade from mile 8 to 24. So we anticipate that we'll have a contractor on the ground sometime in August, September this year, hopefully, if everything goes as planned.
The latest Scratch and Win contestant has cashed out big with a $30,000 prize. The lucky winner has humble plans for his newfound cash. He stopped by our office today to tell us all about it.
Congratulations on your win. How much did you win today?
30,000.
And is this your first time buying Scratch?
No, I've been buying plenty time.
And did you have a feeling today that today was going to be your lucky day?
No. I just buy as usual.
You just buy as usual. So how did you feel? What was the process of winning this one?
Well, my my most different moment is right now.
Being interviewed?
Yeah, like a criminal.
So now that you've won, how do you plan to use this money?
Well, fix up my house, get a little short road, little more than 25 yards from Maxborough Road, because I'm right in Maxborough Road. Get a well. That's all I ask Jesus Christ for.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at channel5belize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, good night.